we get more than 2,000 likes at this videos, we will upload more patriotic news. Massive news: Trey Gowdy destroyed John Brennan and gave Trump the best gift of his life. According to Liberty Writers, the CIA director, John Brennan, testified before the House today on whether or not Russia interfered in the 2016 election. Democratic Representative Adam Schiff asked Brennan if his aides pressured the intelligence community to drop the Flynn investigation. The two words that Brennan said next shocked everyone in the room. John Brennan said, "No, sir." Trey Gowdy asked Brennan the following question, and then he asked John Brennan specifically, "Did you have evidence of a connection between the campaign and Russian state actors?" Brennan then responded by saying, "As I said, Mr. Gowdy, I don't do evidence. What do you think of this? Share your opinion." The truth is out. You'll be surprised who just slammed Hillary with a wrongful death lawsuit. The loss of American lives at the embassy in Benghazi, Libya, was a loathsome disaster that few accept couldn't have been maintained a strategic distance from if just those in charge of issuing requests to send promptly accessible help had done as such when help was asked. We've all found out about the cases from Uncommon Operations SEAL groups that needed to go help the diplomat, and the fighters going about as his bodyguards were requested to stand down by people obscure in the Obama organization. Trust me, we as a whole have our doubts about who the obscure individual or people may be. The parents of two of the soldiers murdered do trust they know who is capable and are documenting suit against that individual to get some legitimate alleviation. From Fox News Politics, the parents of two of the 4 Americans who died in the Benghazi attack in 2012 filed a lawsuit Monday against Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton, alleging her reckless handling of classified information contributed to their deaths. The case was filed in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia by Larry Klayman of Freedom Watch USA on behalf of Patricia Smith, the mother of Sean Smith, and Charles Woods, the father of Tyrone Woods, for allegedly wrongfully causing the death of their sons, as well as for defamation and intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress. The lawsuit suggests that Clinton's use of a private email server contributed to the deaths of Smith and Woods, adding that terrorists were able to obtain the whereabouts of Ambassador Christopher Stevens and thus the U.S. State Department and covert and other government operations in Benghazi, Libya, and subsequently orchestrate, plan, and execute the now infamous September 11, 2012 attack. Having used a secret private email server that we now know was used to communicate with Ambassador Christopher Stevens with confidential and classified government information, and which we also now know was likely hacked by hostile adversaries such as Iran, Russia, China and North Korea aligning with terrorist groups, it is clear that Hillary Clinton allegedly negligently and recklessly gave up the classified location of the plaintiff's sons, resulting in a deadly terrorist attack that took their lives, Klayman said in a statement announcing the suit. In addition to the wrongful death and negligence charges named in the suit, the parents also claim that Clinton defamed them in statements to the media, according to court documents. During her campaign for president, defendant Clinton has negligently, recklessly, or maliciously defamed plaintiffs by either directly calling them liars, or by strongly implying that they are liars, in order to protect and enhance her public image and intimidate and emotionally harm and silence them to not speak up about the Benghazi attack on at least 4 separate occasions, Klayman wrote in his complaint. Patricia Smith has previously spoken out against Clinton, most recently at the Republican National Convention in July. Ideally, this will at long last be the claim that brings her down. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. Share the truth, be patriots. Thank you for reading. T Fox News Politics. Game changer: Nancy Pelosi might get sacked from Congress after doing this. Nancy Pelosi, House Minority Leader, has been demanding for President Trump to be impeached since the moment he took over office. It looks like a top Republican has had more than enough of it. Well, maybe it's time we expel Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats from Congress, said Mark Levin on his radio show this week. If they're going to talk about impeachment, Well, then we need to talk about expulsion. It's time to go on offense. Listen to it here. They talk about impeachment like it's no big deal. It is a big deal. Levin went on to say. They don't really care about the Constitution. It's about power. Pelosi could easily wind up losing her seat in Congress, as her level of popularity has been plummeting ever since she started with her constant and insane attacks on Trump. If you think Nancy Pelosi should be thrown out of Congress, share this. Finally, previous Obama buddy-ins, 8-year hush, uncovered Barack's filthiest lie. This is the biggest cover. Hillary, Obama, and various other Democrat clods really needed to put climate change deniers in jail. It is past strange sci-fi when individuals who are profiting hand over clinch hand through a huge green Ponzi plan are requesting that everybody accept or endure the results. Like some unusual page door from 1984, this Orwellian bad dream is playing out in the Democrat playbook today. The proof, in any case, intellectuals like Al Gore keep on pushing their plan, at the same time emptying massive measures of money out of the worldwide economy. That is to say, $15 trillion? Please. However, we've been onto their trick for some time now. Also, a previous Department of Energy Undersecretary is blowing the shriek on the Obama organization and their illogical information encompassing global warming. The Libertarian Republic, a former member of the Obama administration, claims Washington, D.C. often uses misleading news releases about climate data to influence public opinion. Former Energy Department Undersecretary Stephen Koonin told the Wall Street Journal Monday that bureaucrats within former President Barack Obama's administration spun scientific data to manipulate public opinion. What you saw coming out of the press releases about climate data, climate analysis, was, I'd say, misleading, sometimes just wrong, Koonin said, referring to elements within the Obama administration he said were responsible for manipulating climate data. In the realm of science, where experimental proof should trump all another certainty, counting a supposed agreement, it is no big surprise that Obama and his associates were tricking. With regards to coming clean, we as a whole realize that Obama was no legitimate ape. His falsehoods, misleading and debasement and have turned out to be incredible. Be that as it may, to direct his staff to lie and control atmosphere information to constrain laws through Congress is unconscionable. Abandon it to liberals to discover better approaches to lying, isn't that so? What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comments section below. Share the truth, be patriots. Thank you for reading. H.T. The Wall Street Journal, The Libertarian Republic. The truth is out. Oprah is mocking Jesus and the Bible. Watch before deleted. Disturbing video footage has surfaced showing Oprah Winfrey openly mocking Jesus Christ and the Bible. The legendary race baiter once claimed to be a Christian woman, but it appears that she has turned her back on God. Here's what she has to say about Christianity now. Oprah has her own network, so she has nobody to answer to and clearly feels she can say whatever she wants. She claims there are many ways to God, but as the Bible tells us, there is only one way, Jesus Christ. Share this story if you think Oprah owes Christians everywhere an apology. H.T. American column. Alert: Trey Gowdy just exposed the real traitors who stopped the travel ban. You will be shocked by this. Read more. Congressman Trey Gowdy of upstate South Carolina was offended about what the Ninth Circuit Court did about Trump's travel ban. He conveyed a scorching reprimand to them. Recently, Gowdy came back to get at the other gathering who trumped a profound damage with sanctioning the ban. Gowdy addressed Martha McCallum on Fox News and tore into the lawful direction who best draft the ban, and portrayed how they made a terrible showing with regards to the lawful written work, giving the government court the opening to turn it down on the grounds that it was inadequately worded. Said Gowdy in regards to how he would draft the ban in an unexpected way. My counsel to the president, I'm sure he is receiving this counsel, because he's got access to much better lawyers than me. You have to have a different evidentiary basis depending on the category at bar. U.S. citizens is one category. If you have a visa and you have relied upon that visa to either rent an apartment or put your kids in school, then, you do have certain property interests that you would want protected. Therefore, you are entitled to due process. McCallum asked, there is an indication it was written by basically outside counsel and not run by the Dodge. And you just pointed to a number of holes in this initial executive order. What do you think about the fact that that's the way that it was apparently done? Gowdy answered, I am prepared to give this president time. He has never served in the House, the Senate. It is up to his advisors, including his legal advisors, to say, Mr. President, with different categories like non-immigrant visa holders, versus U.S. citizen, versus non-U.S. citizen, there is a different legal analysis. And it is incumbent upon his advisors to provide him with the evidentiary basis to withstand a court scrutiny. What do you think about this? Do you think Gowdy is 100% right about Trump's shoddy legal counsel? Do not hesitate and leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Watch the full video below, share the truth, be patriots. H.T. Conservative 100